Hey, in this video, I'll explain how our deep research works and how you can get the most out of it. Before we jump into it, a little bit of context. We've only built this because most of our customers wanted to get relevant, personalized copy for their outreach, inbound or outbound, but they didn't want to invest the time into doing the manual research. We looked at the market, we looked at all the options from using deep research from language models all the way to any kind of go-to-market tools that tell you that they can add AI personalization into your templates. None of it was either accurately scalable or, on the other side, really truly relevant. So we've built deep research that's specifically for any kind of outreach campaign. And here's how it works. When I start a new campaign, I'll pick a persona. What Twain can do now is we can add and build the persona based on your company, but also additionally, we can add multiple resources. For example, case studies. That's like one of my favorite things. You can also upload documents. That way, we'll create a persona that is more tailored to, for example, the use case and value proposition in your case studies. Now, I'm going to add a few leads manually here based on their LinkedIn profiles. Something that is very important and different is that we are not doing this deep research in LinkedIn on their profile, but we're actually searching for everything that is available about them and the company on the web relevant to your value proposition. Your value proposition is based on your campaign idea. You can use the suggest feature to get ideas or inspiration for up to 9 different campaign ideas. Or in my case, I'm just going to use a very simple statement here. And then I can either ask Twain to auto-create the structure and number of steps, or I can also review them before I actually create the campaign. And I can see here, for example, in the first introduction, Twain is going to open with using the most relevant recipient insight. And something I want to add here is that I want to make sure it's a recent one. That's all the changes I'm going to make for now, but that was already one point how to get the most out of our research. So now I'm going to create the campaign. This is going to take a few seconds because we are doing a lot of things at the same time in the background to make sure that this is actually real-time data, that is accurate, and that it's relevant. All right, so we are in the campaign right now. We can see 3 message steps. And we can see here on the right side that Twain surfaced not only insights that are relevant, but also the date from when they are, and the source links. So you can always click on them and follow up on the insight and read more about it. Now, I can go into the message and how do I actually use this? You use it through this edit framework. And under edit framework, you can see here now that it says recent insight relevant to our value proposition as an example. Sometimes I also like to use something like, hey, use a non-obvious insight and mention that, and so on. You can use different multiple things. You can change. You can see here, this is a mix of an actual paragraph that I wrote that I want to be used verbatim and something in brackets that is more about, hey, here you see where you can inject the research. And the really cool thing is that Twain will mention it in follow-ups as well. For example, here for Nick, what I really liked is that I came across some feedback suggesting templated messages might not always build deeper engagement and outreach. And of course, here you can also see that Twain is using very different opener and research than it's using for Alina. And that is how you can play around with this and figure out what kind of structures you like to use for your introduction, but also for your follow-ups, before you then can generate for your entire lead list and export them. you can see here we have multiple sequencers, and or you can export it on Google Sheets and or download the CSV. One tip, when you export to Google Sheets or download the file, you will be able to download all the research as well. So you can use it for your cold calling scripts, for example, or when you've booked a meeting to prepare for that meeting. All right, message me if you have any questions. Have fun with this, and we'd love to hear from you.